At the end of this calendar year, Joe Biden announces that he's not going to seek a second term. Based on all your reporting, how much of a surprise will that be to you?
I would say it would be a surprise to me, but it wouldn't be a total surprise.
Wouldn't be a total shock.
It wouldn't be a total shock.
I would not be surprised in the slightest. I'm not going to be shocked. I'm not going to be surprised. I basically feel like I know that's going to happen. However, let's bring in a real expert. You've heard of these great books, haven't you? Red-Handed, How America's Elites Get Rich by Helping China. And also another fabulous one, Profiles in Corruption, Abuse of Power by America's Progressive Elite. Written by Peter Schweizer. He's the president of the Government Accountability Institute. He's been all over Democrat and Biden corruption from the very early stages. Peter, welcome back. How are you?
I'm great, Greg. Good to be with you always, my friend. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And you heard what he just said. There's a growing kind of sense that he's going to have to pull out. What are you hearing, and what significance do you assign what that man just said, who's a bit of a media favorite?
Oh, yeah, no. And I mean, look, he had access as a biographer of Biden. He had access to the White House, and he's certainly a Democratic insider. And I would say, look, I'm terrible at political predictions, so I'm not going to predict anything. But I think there are all kinds of interesting signs that demonstrate that Joe Biden may potentially bow out. Part of that, I think, is related to, the polling numbers and the very real concerns about his health. But there's also the growing scandals involving the family, more revelations to come. The fact that we're going to probably have an impeachment inquiry, which gives them more broad powers. There are a lot of reasons for Joe Biden to basically say, look, I'm not going to run for re-election. I'm going to serve out my term, and I'm going to move on.
So Democrats, they're in denial about the corruption, alleged corruption, at least publicly. The media, they will not do their job. But, when the cameras aren't rolling, when they're talking amongst themselves, and the mainstream reporters reach out to you, do they know in their heart of hearts that this guy is compromised?
I know a lot of the reporters that I talk to at the major newspapers and networks, I mean, they will tell you that they know this is an absolute problem. The difficulty is that basically the management at a lot of these news corporations have decided that Donald Trump is a quote-unquote existential threat to American democracy. And therefore, that justifies them doing everything they can to essentially prop up his political opponent, which is Joe Biden. I don't think that's going to change. But on the other hand, Greg, I got to tell you, you look at the polling of the Harvard-Harris poll, which is hardly a conservative pollster, showing a solid 60% of Americans, including 58% of independents, believe that Joe Biden was involved in corruption that benefited his family financially. Those are not good numbers. Back in 2020, outside of people that read my books and read the New York Post and listened to your program, very few people knew about that corruption. That is starting to change. And at some point, the media is going to have to decide, do they want to further trash their brands, which are already down in the teens as far as polling showing confidence in them? Do they want to further trash them and continue to cling to Joe Biden? Or do they want to actually come out and report this stuff? And I think they're getting very close to that point, that this is a lost leader for them and they need to move on.
How surprised were you that Hunter Biden we all knew about the trip to China, which was highly problematic to say the least, and getting off of Air Force Two. But I think you've seen this compilation by now of Hunter Biden discreetly flying on Air Force Two. There he is getting off the plane. Everything's fine. I think he's with one of his granddaughters. Hunter is literally waiting in the wings, waiting in the car. He did this in South Korea, and we'll see Hunter right there. Italy, Germany, I believe Ukraine as well. Hunter not getting off the plane with his father. I mean, this is a huge problem, and it shows to me that they've been doing this thing all along. I mean, what do you make of this compilation?
No, I think you're right, Greg. I mean, look, the fundamental question when it comes to the fact that he's going on Air Force Two and in some cases going out the back door, clearly not wanting people to know, the media to know, the public to know that he's hitching a ride. there's that deception. There are these pseudonyms that Joe Biden is using. There's the fact that they've set up all these LLCs through which to funnel money. You'll notice that usually the money doesn't go directly to Hunter. It goes to a business partner who then sends it to a Hunter. Why the need to deceive and hide if all this stuff is above board? I think they know what it would look like if Hunter got off the plane and was demonstrably there every single time people saw it. People would know it was a problem, so they try to conceal it and hide it. And I think that, along with the question that the Bidens have never been able to answer, which is, what exactly was Hunter's business? What was he doing? Why were these Chinese entities sending him tens of millions of dollars? What were the Ukrainians expecting in return? We now know the answer to some of that, but they've never been questioned on that, and I think they don't have a good answer, and that's not a question they even want to address. So things are going to get a lot tougher for the Bidens. They're not going to get easier on these questions.
And finally, just a couple of seconds left. Is Barack Obama really running the country? Maybe not. My strong sense is that he has a heck of a lot of influence, and he's actually pulling the strings. What do you make?
Well, you've got the biographer, Mr. Garrow, who wrote a very definitive biography on Barack Obama's younger years, saying that there are people from the White House going in and out of Barack Obama's home in Washington, D.C. on a regular basis. He certainly thinks he's pulling strings, and I think he's probably got pretty good reasons to believe that that's exactly the case.
Peter Schweizer, thank you very much. You know, I read Profiles in Courage the day before. It was just a coincidence. Kamala Harris was nominated, and I was so ready for that moment, thanks to your book. I recommend it to everybody. Profiles in Courage. You also got to check out Red Handed, and please go to peterschweitzer.com. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, we'll be right back.